Recording in progress.
All right. Greetings to part two of Second Kings chapter 5. This is the Assembly of the Righteous. Today is July 4th, 2006. 7/4/26, which is not actually the seventh month. It's actually around, I think around the fifth month, I believe, according to the real beginning of the year. But other than that, according to Gregorian calendar we're living in today, we're in this is July 4th, 2026, and we're in Second Kings chapter 5. Now we just did part one, which we always in part one we always start off going into what we did last week, doing a recap of that, coming into what we're doing today. Now in part one, verse 1 through 14, we spoke of Naaman. Naaman is he was a captain of the host of the Syrian army, and it was told by one of the maids that was captive in Syria, that Naaman, when Naaman was beginning to be a leper. And as I shared, if you go to chapter it tell you more about clean and unclean leprosy in Leviticus chapter, I think that was Leviticus chapter 13 and 14. Yep, signs of the treatment of leprosy, and chapter 14 is the cleansing of lepers, right? Okay, leprosy or lepers and things like that. That's in the law. And a lot of time when you see a lot of these people, when you see they have their melanin, you have a lot of the pigmentation in their skin when they're turning from when they're melanated is turning Caucasian or white, is getting in their skin. This is called leprosy. It's called clean leprosy. That's clean leprosy. Oh, my baby coming in. Let's see. But that's called clean leprosy. Greetings, Miss Joe. Glad you can make it with us, baby girl. How you doing?
I'm all right, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm doing good. Glad you can make it to us for part two of Second Kings chapter 5. This Second Kings chapter 5. We just got through reading out of chapter 5, verse 1 through 14, and it spoke of Naaman's leprosy. It spoke of Naaman's leprosy, right? And Naaman was becoming leper, even though the Creator had given him through the Creator, as it said in verse 1. Let me read that. This is Second Kings chapter 5 we're in, if you want to know, Joanne.
Yeah.
Second Kings chapter 5, verse 1. I'm going to go back to this. We're in part 2, but we're going to go back to 1. It says, now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master and honorable, because by him Yah had given deliverance unto Syria. He was also a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper. So by him being a leper, Naaman's wife, it was a little maid, which you'll see at the end of part 2. A little maid, which is a little lady, which was a virgin. They called maids virgin back at that time. Little maid, she was a waitress. She was more like a waiter, more like a bonds. I don't want to say she was a bondsman or bondswoman. She was a waiter. It says she waited. And it says she was she was a captive, and had brought away captive out of the land of Israel a little maid. So she was a captive. So I don't know if she was a bondsman or woman, but she was a captive under, and she waited for Naaman's wife. So she said that she the one who made mention that she the one who said to her mistress that the Creator was with Yah my Lord was with the prophet is in Samaria, for he will recover him of his leprosy. Right? So she shared that that he could help him with his leprosy. So then now they told one guy went and told the king, which is his Lord. The king said he sent them what he sent them over here in verse 5. And the king of Syria said, go, and I will send a letter unto the king of Israel. And he departed and took with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 pieces of gold, and 10 changes of raiment, 10 changes of garment. So when he did that, by doing that, no, he was going to, because the woman said it, the little maid know about Elisha being a prophet and he can help him out. So he sent it to, he sent message to the king of Israel. Now at this time I had to look, and I think Jehoram was still the king at this time. And I shared that in part 1 as well. You can go, I ain't gonna go back over all that again. Y'all go to part 1 and check it out. But and here the king of Israel, now he thinking that the king of Syria is coming to pick a quarrel with him, because he said, how am I God to change a man and to do this and do that? That's what he said. Where he said that? I think that was in right here in verse 8. And it was so when Elisha, the man of Yah, had heard. No, that was in verse 7. And it came to pass when the king of Israel had read the letter that he rent his clothes. And he said, am I God to kill and make alive, that this man doeth send me to recover a man of leprosy? Wherefore consider, I pray you, and ye see how he seeketh to quarrel against me. So he thinking that he just want to quarrel now. He think he want to start a battle. But then Elisha heard it, and it was so when Elisha, the man of Yah, had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come now to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. Now let me share something with y'all. Okay. I want to share something. It's a conversation that I've been having with these quote unquote Hebrew Israelites that think they're wearing fringes. I shared this a little bit in part 1. I'm gonna come back to this again in part 2, right where we at now. See, a lot of people don't know fringes is when he said the 4 corners of that garment. Now, as I was listening and sharing this information with these brothers as I came home and shared the next day, fringes, you see this right here? This is more like it's a border and it's a cuff. They cuff it, and when you're supposed to cut the ends of it. When you cut the ends of these are the real fringes that we're supposed to have. Fringes is when you see. I don't know if y'all can see the lining in between there, but when you cut it, these are the fringes that you have on 4 corners. So then that's why it was easy for them to rent their clothes. Now, if I'm doing like this right now, I can rent it. But the clothes, I think they had, you could do like they can rent their clothes easy. Just thinking about it. If we say, they always talk about they rent their clothes. That goes to show the borders in there was real. With the fringes wasn't like the sew-on stuff that they put on the bottom. That these Hebrew Israelites walk around, where your fringes, where your those are tassels, and they're not of Israel. Israel's fringes is within their clothes, within the clothing, not sewed on. They really don't have it sewed on top. No way. They just have it sewed at the bottom, thinking that they're wearing fringes. They ain't there. See, the Father is precise in the things he do. People don't do the research on the things they do. They just see, okay, we got fringes. We're going to sew these on now. Now I'm wearing fringes. And I was having this conversation with these brothers last week. And they trying to ask me, well, where your fringes at? I said, my fringes is right here. Because actually, from what I read in Brother Eli's information, really fringes right here, but it's supposed to be cut. But it's in the hem. That's right, in the hem of their garment. This is a hem. That's what this is. That's what I was thinking. This is a hem. When you fold over and you sew, that's a hem. So when you fold that, when you sew that hem, then you cut outside the hem. That's where the fringes are at. But these people think they know so much, and they try to judge you on stuff they don't even know themselves. So they tell me, then I asked them, I said, what's the purpose of fringes? What's the purpose of them? Oh, you're waiting because God said, yeah, of course, the Creator said, but what's the purpose? The purpose is to look upon your fringes and remember the commandments. That's what the purpose of fringes are for. I'm sorry to get on that right now, but I had to get on that because when the king rent his clothes, that just brought me back to mind to give people an understanding what real fringes are according to Israel. Not these Babylonian fringes and these tassels that they're wearing. Even the Jewish prayer cloth. That's a Jewish prayer cloth. When you got the all white with blue on it and the tassels on the end. That's Jewish. That's not Israel. So what tripped me out is people are quick to try to point. That's why I tell you, you got three fingers pointing at you. When you're pointing finger at somebody, you got three fingers pointing back at you. Always trying to, when these people try to judge, they don't really understand they're judging themselves. They're judging themselves and they don't even realize it. That's why I don't even worry about, situations like that. Sometimes I laugh, but sometimes, it get frustrating talking to several different people and I'm the only one trying to talk and all of them coming at me all at the same time. So I have to get out my energy the best way I can. But let's get on back with the story. So they sent gold and stuff to the king, and the king thought they was quarreling. So that's when they went to Elisha, because Elisha said, send them over this way. They went to Elisha house, they stood outside. Elisha he didn't even go out himself. He sent somebody. He told the messenger, go tell him to go dip himself 7 times in Jordan. As a matter of fact, let's read on into it. We're going to start right here at verse 12. But the key, matter of fact, no, verse 11. We're going to start 11 and read on through. 10. We'll start at 10 and read on through. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, as thou shalt be clean. This is leprosy. Like I was saying, people that's going through their blotching and stuff that's going on in their skin in this day and time, that's leprosy. All you that have when your pigmentation, like what happened with vitiligo, I think they call it. That's what happened with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson had leprosy. That was leprosy upon Michael Jackson. A lot of people don't understand it. I think it was called vitiligo. Am I right, sweetie? Is that the correct word for it? It just hit me. She might not be there now. But what her thing is open, so it ain't. So the point I'm getting at, I think it's called vitiligo or something like that. But it's called leprosy in that day and time. Oh, okay, like one of the things went out. Oh, no, what happened? There we go. All right. Am I right, baby? Is it called vitiligo?
Vitiligo, yeah.
Vitiligo. Okay, good. That's the form of leprosy today. Michael Jackson had it. A lot of people have it. It's leprosy. You got to go into Leviticus chapter 13 and 14 to understand leprosy of today, which is you can call it vitiligo, and also the unclean leprosy as well. So that's in Leviticus chapter 13 and chapter 14. Read it for yourself and check it out. All right. Those are forms of vitiligo, which I call today, and leprosy. But as it says right here, verse 10 again said, and Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. But Naaman was wroth. He was angry. Naaman was wroth. He was angry, and went away and said, behold, I thought he would surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of Yah, his father. You see, go at his God. You see, he said his God, his father, and strike his hand over the place and recover the leper. Recover the leprosy. Say, are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? See that? May I not wash in them? But the whole thing I keep saying, the key is obedience. See, the key is obedience. It wasn't about what you thought. When the Father says something through a man or to you in spirit, However the Father give it to you, be obedient to his word. That's why it says obedience is better than sacrifice. A lot of these people are worshiping a sacrifice when the Creator said be obedient to his word. But they'd rather try to, well, you know, they looking at the Roman culture of a man being murdered and prosecuted, or not prosecuted, he was prosecuted, but and being murdered, being their sign, and that this is supposed to be the faith of the world. Not realizing the Creator's word is the faith of the world. Faith of the world. But he said, are not Abana and Pharpar rivers of Damascus better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in rage. He was mad. But this is where people pull your coattail. These are your friends. These are people that pull your coattail, and these are one who give you wise wisdom. What happened in verse 13? It says, and his servants came near and spake unto him. His servants came near and spake unto him and said, my father. And that's why I also too, y'all see he said about father here. The fifth commandment is honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land that thy father giveth thee, that Yah giveth thee. Your father is the elders and the people who are over you. They call him father. And you know, if these his servants, they weren't his actual father. But he wasn't their actual father. But and his servants came near and spake unto him and said, my father, if the prophet had bid thee, I gotta get that my father on there, but that's the key. A lot of people don't look at clues. If the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldst thou not have done it? How much rather then when he said unto thee, wash and be clean? Go and be, but it not only wash and be clean, where he told you to go do it at. He ain't say just go wash up anywhere. Go here and wash and be clean. If he told you to do it somewhere else, when you've done it, he told you go here, dip yourself 7 times. And what was going to happen? Verse 14. Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan. He did exactly what was said. 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of Yah. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child. That means that it was soft, and he was clean, and he was restored. You might as well say. His flesh was restored. And he was clean. Now comes the part 2. We're in part 2. Elisha declines Naaman's gift. Now, he declines Naaman's gift. Check this out. And he returned to the man of Yah. See, now he returned. First, he didn't want to do it. He was mad. And he returned to the man of Yah and all his company and came and stood before him. And he said, behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth. See, he said, but now he's confessing. He's confessing right here. And he returned to the man of Yah and said, and he and all his company, and came and stood before him. And he said, behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth, but in Israel. Now, therefore, I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. Please take this blessing of thy servant. But he said, as Yah liveth before whom I stand, I would not receive none. I would not receive anything. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. Nope, that's all right. Take it, please take. Nope, that's all right. We good. This is of Yah. But he refused. And Naaman said, shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules, burden of the earth? For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burden offering, for thy servant will henceforth offer neither, bam, check this out. For thy servant, he said, from this point, will henceforth offer neither burnt offerings nor sacrifice unto other gods. You see that? He got more sense than these Christians and these Hebrew Christians. Let me go ahead and get this. This is right here. Naaman said, shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules, burdens of the earth? For thy servant, for I will henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice to other gods, but unto Yah, but unto the Creator. But unto Yah. All these false gods is gone now out of his mind, out of his sight. He know who to serve now. In this thing, Yah pardon thy servant. In this thing, Yah pardon thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Ramon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Ramon. When I bow down myself in the house of Ramon, Yah pardon thy servant in this thing. So he's asking for forgiveness. Boy, almost want to make me cry. He see that he's under a different leadership under somebody, and he's asking for forgiveness for this situation because he know. That's something, boy. Ooh, I gotta put this in. Ooh, boy. Huh?
I said this is good, honey.
Yeah. Hold on. Man, that's something. Say verse 18. In this thing, Yah pardon thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Rimmon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow down myself in the house of Rimmon, when I bow down myself in the house of Rimmon, Yah pardon thy servant in this thing. Because that's their deity that they lead to, but he know who to turn to. And that's really sad for our people today that can't see. And he said unto him, go in peace. So he departed from him a little way. So he departed from him in a little way. The sin and punishment of Elisha's servant. There we go. This is greed. Now you know Elisha knew what was going on, not Elisha, Gehazi. Gehazi knew what was going on because he was right there. But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of Yah, said, behold, my master hath spared Naaman, this Syrian, and not receiving at his hand, and which he bought. Let me rephrase that again. But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of Yah, said, behold, my master hath spared Naaman, this Syrian, and not receiving at his hand that which he brought. But as Yah liveth, I will run. You see that? But as Yah liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him. This is greed. Gehazi. So Gehazi followed after him. After Naaman. So Gehazi followed after Naaman, and when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from his chariot. He got down to meet him and said, Is all well? This is Naaman. He said, Is all well? And he said, All is well, my master. He said, My master, he lied right there. He said, All is well. My master has sent me, saying, he lied. Behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garment. You see that? He lied. My master has sent me. Behold, even now there be 2 men. Even now there become to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garment. He wanted something. This is where your greed comes in at. And Naaman said, be content. Take 2 talents. So he said, 2 young men, give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garment. He lied. And Naaman said, be content. Take 2 talents. He giving it to him. And he urged him and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of garment, and laid them upon 2 of his servants. Laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. And they bared them before him. And they got them before Naaman. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house. So he took them and he took them to his house. Took him to his house, and he let the men go, and they departed. So it looked like Naaman gave him had a couple of men help him. It sound like, and when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand. He took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house, and he let the men go, and they departed. Right, the men departed, but he went in and stood before his master. But he went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said unto him, here we go. Well, he went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, Thy servant went no whither. See, he lied again. That's the second lie. And Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, Thy servant went no whither. He lied again. How can you think that you're going to be a man of Yah and be amongst the prophet, the real prophet of Yah, because they're prophets, but he's a servant of a prophet. How you think you? And he said unto him, went not mine heart with thee? Unto him, went not mine heart with thee when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? And he said unto him, went not my heart with thee when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servant and maid servants? So these are the things that he may thought to do with the money that he got. Let me say it again. And he said unto him, went not my heart with thee? Shit, you don't think my heart went with you? Which is my mind. When the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee, when he turned from his chariot and they turned around to meet him, is it a time? Now here go the information. Shall I say the prophecy? Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen, manservants and maidservants? So this is what he was planning on doing. You got to understand. This is what his to receive money. Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments? And olive yard, now he gonna buy land. And vineyard, remember, talents is bags, is a certain bag for a certain weight in the bag of whatever it may be. 2 talents of gold, 2 talents of silver, talents of grain and stuff like that. Talents is a certain weight of I'll just say weight of material. I'll say it like that. You know, it's a certain weight. And it says, is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants? Some people I heard said, this sounds like the Jews. I've heard Gehazi, which name is Gehazi, Geha. Oh man, Gehazi. Is they the Jews, the Gehaziites or whatever? They say that some people say that these are the Jews of today. But let me go to the last verse. The leprosy, therefore, of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper as white as snow. You see that? This is the white man of today. When you call white man, this is the real white man today. And I believe these are the Jews. Gehazi. I think these are the Jews of today. We've had this conversation years ago. Is it? All right. We've had this conversation years ago. And when it said Gehazi got the curse of leprosy because of his greed for money, and just like when Elijah said, and he said unto him, went not my heart with thee? Went not my heart? Didn't you think my heart went with you? My mind went with thee when the man turned again from the chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money? He don't think that, he ain't think Elijah knew about it. And this goes to show where their real belief in Yah compared to their belief in what they think or money and things are like that today. You know, is it not a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants? The leprosy, therefore, of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever. To you and your seed. Started with you and your seed. The leprosy, therefore, of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence, a leper as white as snow. And I don't think you heard of Gehazi after that point. Until let you just talk about the Jews of today. These, I believe, are the Jews of today. The Gehaziites. So this is the real white man of today. No, this seemed to be a little short, but it is what it is. You know, this is where we at this point in time. But what really hit me is when he went and he was clean, and Naaman said, shall there not, okay, right here, verse, let's start at 15 again. We'll take 15 to 18, 15 to 19. And it says, Elisha, hit that one more time. Elisha declines Naaman's gifts. He declines Naaman's gift. And he returned to the man of Yah, which is Elisha, he and all his company, and came and stood before him. And he said, behold, now I know that there is no, this is what he said. Naaman. He said, now I know that there is no God in all the earth, but in Israel. And this is a confession. He confessed right here. And he returned to the man of Yah, which is Elisha. He and all his company, and came and stood before him. And he said, behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth, but in Israel. Now, therefore, I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. But in Israel. There is no God in all the earth, but in Israel. Now, therefore, I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servants. Verse 16. But he said, who? As Yah liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. I don't want nothing. And he said, as Yah liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he said that. And he urged him to take it. Now, that's how Gehazi lied and used the word, and still lied on the Creator as well. He used the word for himself. I will receive none. That he urged him to take it, but he refused. Elijah's like, not Elijah, Elisha. Nope, that's all right. He refused. And Naaman said, shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules, burden of earth? He said, shall I give him 2 mule burden of earth? For thy servant will henceforth after offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice unto other gods, but unto Yah. Verse 18 is what hit me. In this thing, Yah pardon thy servants. Forgive me, Father. That when my master go into the house of Rimmon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Rimmon. When I bow down myself in the house of Rimmon, Yah pardon thy servant in this thing. He said, pardon me when I do this, because I know the Creator is the Creator in Israel. So I'm asking you to forgive me because I'm serving under this king over here. And the Creator had already gave him favor, as it says over here in verse 1. Now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master, see, with his master, and honorable, because by him Yah has given deliverance unto Syria. He was also a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper. So he was a leper. So by him going through the leprosy, and like I'm saying, if you go and find out more information about leprosy, you go to Leviticus chapter 13 and chapter 14. They give you more understanding about leprosy when it comes to clean leprosy, which Michael Jackson had and a lot of people have today. When you have these blotches in your skin, you got white and black, look like mix in the skin. That's clean leprosy compared to unclean leprosy, which is when people have boils and sores and stuff like that, which is, you would probably say parasites, as we'd probably call it today, or whatever else, what we call it today. Or the clean leprosy, what is Menavago? With Michael Jackson. I just said the name, it came to me earlier, but it's gone now. But other than that, this is where we are. Baby, since you're here on Zoom with me, is there anything you'd like to share according to what you heard or, stated or listened to? Is there anything you'd like to share? If not, we're at the end of Second Kings chapter 5, and next week we'll be starting in Second Kings chapter 6.
Well, I would like to say that in this part that I came in on,
I couldn't hear you, baby. Can you speak up a little bit?
in this part of the scripture of the chapter, I came in on God honors obedience.
Yeah, I was obedient by him going into the water, dipping himself. He didn't want to do it at first, but his servants pulled his coattail and told him, if this was some other thing, wouldn't you have done that? But go ahead, baby. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to share that point.
Yeah, God honors obedience more than he does sacrifice. And in a sense, I guess looking at Naaman's understanding, I had to say to myself, but why if the water is so clean, would you want to take such a dirty disease and wash in the clean water?
Mm.
Why not wash in the dirty water where the disease is where it's dirty? Why would you want to wash in the clean water? But that's just my thinking. I just think that if he had not been obedient, he would have lost his opportunity to be free from the leprosy.
There you go.
So sometimes Father uses things that make absolutely no sense to you.
That's right.
To prove your allegiance or your what your mouth says to him, to prove it. Same thing with the same thing with Abraham and his son. Father honored his obedience to do what he asked him to do.
That's right.
To prove him. So if you're such a great man of valor and you're a great man of honor, then let me see who you really are. And though he was jaded for a moment, because anytime Most High tells someone to do something, or someone has been instructed to do something by Most High or through one of his prophets, there's always an air of negativity that comes behind that.
Yep.
Immediately he started thinking about how nasty the water is, and why wouldn't you allow me to go in clean water? Why couldn't I? Just those things that started popping in his head. But Father will always bring you back to an understanding, and it's only up to you to choose to get the wisdom. Even with the young man saying, "My Father," if he had said to do this great thing, would you not have done it? So he had to bring something. It's always something that will bring you back to understanding why you should do what you're supposed to do, or just
Com-
do what the prophet is giving you to do.
confirmation.
Confirmation, even with again, Abraham and his son, there was a ram in the bush. There's always a blessing if you be obedient. There's always something that comes behind, because Father rewards your obedience. No matter what, He rewards your obedience. He really does.
Well,
So I just that's what I saw in the scripture. And I thought it was really good today, honey.
yeah, and what you said was totally true because I could have stayed in Atlanta.
Mm.
I could have stayed in Atlanta. The Spirit told me through a brother that I need my daughters need me here. The woman I'm going to meet, I'm gonna meet her in Detroit, and the Creator got big plans for me. That was the second time that was told to me, but the first two things he said that happened. And you've been a blessing to me since I've been here, a blessing to me since I've been back, since we've gotten together. So,
Oh.
you know what I'm saying? So I know what you just said is totally true.
Mm-hmm.
By being obedient to the word, and then you will see the effects in time once the word comes to pass.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people like being in idolatry and doing what they do. So, yeah, so this is the end of part one. Is there anything else about this that you like to share, or you good?
I'm good, honey.
Okay. Well, my main thing is that it showed to me when it talks about, and like I said, we had conversation before. The Jews of today, I believe, is of Naaman's seed. Is of the seed of Naaman. I cut this back on. It's warm up here, y'all. Yeah, the um the Jews of today, I do believe, would be of the seed of Naaman. Now I'm just going on my point of view because this shows who they are. And just as Elisha said, and he said unto him, when went not my heart with thee when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and olive yard and vineyards and sheep and men and oxen and young and men servants and maid servants? The leprosy therefore of Raman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper as white as snow. Hey, people get what they choose. That's the reason why you knew something was wrong when last week when Elisha told him to go, excuse me, to go take my staff, lay my staff on the boy's head, and see what. And he told him, don't speak to nobody, and don't salute nobody, don't speak to anyone. Something happened. Something happened that the fact that he didn't listen. That's why the boy didn't come to life. So, and throughout that time was going on that he had to come and lay on the young man, put his hands on his hands, his head and eyes on his mouth and everything, and give that life, give warmth to that body. The body warmed up, and then the body sneezed 7 times, and he came back to life last week. So, but he told Gehazi to go and take his staff and lay it on him, and don't say nothing to nobody. Don't agree to nobody or nothing. Just go straight and see what you need to see. So, obedience is key. And I think in between that, by that not happening, people would probably put doubt. But it wasn't doubt. It's to go to show that something happened. It don't say that it happened, but it shows that it happened. And that's the difference. Last week on Gehazi, when he told when Elisha told Gehazi to go and take his staff and lay it on the boy, that the boy should come back to life. Something happened in between his going back to meet that boy, to meet the boy in the bed, that he had to go and lay on him to bring him back, the young man back to life. Now this shows his true identity by the fact that he was being greedy. He ran after someone. He ran after someone in order to be greedy about getting it. His man's helped him take it back to the house or the tower. He went and put it up. After he did that, he sent the man on by the way. He went and put that stuff up, and he went and come back in front of Alicia, thinking Alicia didn't know nothing. Then he gonna lie again. What the two lies at? The first lie is in 22. The first lie is in verse 22. And he said, all is well. Say, my master has sent me. See, he lied on Alicia right there. He lied on Alicia. My master has sent me, saying, behold, even now there become to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee. See, he lied on them and is lied on the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments. And Naaman said, be content, take 2 talents. And he urged him and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags. 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of garment, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. And they bare them before who? Gehazi, I guess. 24. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house. And he let the men go, and they departed. But he went in and stood before his master. And Elisha said unto him, whence comest thou, Gehazi? And what did Gehazi say? And he said, thy servant went no whither. I ain't went nowhere. Oh, you just lied twice. You gonna go tell him. So Gehazi had to have somebody with him, because he said, these is 2 prophets. Give them a talent of silver and 2 changes of garment. He'll take 2 talents. And he filled him up with it, because he was happy to do that because of what happened. So then you're going to go back to the man of the father to lie. Oh, I ain't going nowhere. Oh, really? Don't you think my heart was with you when you left? Now, the leprosy is going to cleave from Naaman unto you for the rest of your life, to you and your seed. You just curse your offspring. You see that? You just cursed your children and your offspring. Well, many of your offspring after, because whoever that young man was with him, I don't know if he was talking to him, but he talked to Gehazi. And Gehazi got that curse. It is what it is. Greed can be an awful thing. So this is the end of the family of the righteous, which is 2 Kings chapter 5. This was 2 Kings chapter 5. Next week, we'll be going into 2 Kings chapter 6. And right now, I hope everybody got something out of this. We got somebody in YouTube, had somebody over, somebody's back over in Instagram. And my baby, she came in part 2. But this was very good to understand greed, obedience, and honor. Greed, obedience, and honor in this chapter is something. But other than that, since we're here, I'd just like to say I'd like to thank everybody for coming, who did come in. For those who is observing the 4th, as they call it today, for those who are observing the 4th, this is not our independence. This is independence for those who have came over here and took the land over and have established themselves in this land. This is their independence. It's not our independence. Our independence comes when we get fully under the Creator's, under yoke, not yoke, but the Creator's, we can say yoke, but up under the Creator's being, doing his laws, doing his commandments, and doing his will. That's when we have and we'll be in our capacity of keeping the Creator's word, his will, and his way. That's when we have our independence. When you get into your sovereign status, being the the Creator's children, and that's when you'll be into your independence. Now you can stand, you don't have to worry about the cops, the law, their legalese, should I say, because you'll be keeping the law. Now you just got to grow and understand how to get to great substance, what will help you in your daily life. That's the next step. After the first steps, which is I'm gonna call it red chakra. The red chakra, which is the bottom line, is getting out of the districts of the jurisdiction, should I say, of the system. That's best way I can say it. Other than that, we getting ready to do the benediction. And before we do the benediction, I just want to share, since we're at the end of this, that I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm that same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwells, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This is prophesied for you to see. Excuse me, that Mikael is really me. Other than that, I thank y'all for y'all time, y'all patience, y'all listening here, and we're going to go out with the benediction, which is out of Numbers chapter 6, verse 22 through 27. And it states, And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yah bless thee and keep thee. Yah make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put Yah's name upon the children of Israel, which is his law, and Yah will bless them. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shekebo, Bakuto V'olam, Va'em, Hallelujah. Hear, O Israel, Yah Father is one Father. Blessed be thy glorious kingdom forever and ever. Hallelujah. Blessed be thou, Father, universe, that bring forth all living creatures forth from the earth. Blessed be thou, Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We thank you for this day, this beautiful Sabbath day. Thank you for allowing us to honor it in your name, that we come to it and do your word, do your will, and do your way. We bless you, praise you, and thank you. And we honor you in this beautiful Sabbath. In your holy word and spirit we pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise you, Almighty. Thank you, Father. Now, for everyone else, if you'd like to get in contact with us, you're welcome to come to the Zoom classes that we have. And if you're interested in getting into the Zoom classes, you're welcome to text me your name and your email. If you want to text me, your name and your email at 770-572-5315. That's 770-572, excuse me, 572-5315. Now, you can also email me your name, number, and email at 770-572, at LKHYYM at gmail.com. Again, that email again is that you can email me your name, number, and email at LKHYYM at gmail.com. And then I will send you the information to your email in order for you to get into the Zoom classes. I'm sending you the invitation. You just have to accept the invitation. And by accepting the invitation, you will, you'll be accepting it, and you'll have to have a Google Calendar. It will come up in your Google Calendar, and you will see the dates in order for the dates that we have. The dates are one is on the Sabbath, which is where we are today. This is Assembly of the Righteous, and it's every Sabbath day, which is quote unquote Saturday at 12 p.m. noon, at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Time. This is the Assembly of the Righteous. Then we're on the night after Sunday. The night after Sunday, which is the people call Sunday night. The night after Sunday on at 9 p.m. Eastern. 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's called Fight Fire with Truth, which is open conversation. It's open conversation, which we have open conversation across the board about things that we can talk about, whatever it is that we may speak on. We have open conversation on that, and that's on Sundays at 9, the night after Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then we're here the night after Monday. Night after Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and it's called Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. It's Mikael's Knowledge of Truth, night after Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. 9 p.m. Eastern at this time. And then we're here every last Tuesday at this point in time. Now, the last Tuesday of the month at 7:30 a.m. at the rising of the sun, and after the sun go down after Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Both of them Eastern time. 7:30 a.m. Eastern and at 9 p.m. Eastern. Night it's called Introduction to Solving Classical Knowledge. Introduction to Solving Classical Knowledge. This is every last Tuesday of the month at this point in time. And that's the only Zoom meeting. Only Zoom meeting. It's not public, which I'm about to give to you. It's not public, it's private, and that's on Zoom only. Now for the public platform on, excuse me. The public platforms I'm on are, first we have YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter. There's YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter. My main YouTube is under Juice Pro 33. Both of them under Juice Pro 33, which is spelled JUICE PRO 33. JUICE PRO 33. All right. And that's on my YouTube, which you can like, subscribe, and share to. And it's also on my, on my Twitter, my X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, my next platform is Facebook. My Facebook is Mikael Harris, which is spelled MI_CHAEL space HARRIS. Again, that's MI_CHAEL space HARRIS. That's Mikael Harris under Facebook. My next one is my Instagram and also one of my TikToks. That's my Instagram and one of my TikToks under Lakheim_the Juice, which is spelled LKHYYM_THEJUICE. Again, that's LKHYYM_THEJUICE. That's my Instagram as well as one of my TikToks. Now, my other TikTok and my other YouTube, which you can like, subscribe, and share to, my other TikTok and my other YouTube is Michael the Juice Harris, all together as one word, which is spelled MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. Again, that's MICHAELTHEJUICE. That's Michael the Juice Harris, all one word, on TikTok and my other YouTube, which you can like, subscribe, and share to. Now, last but not least, we have the Patreon.com and Rumble.com. It's patreon.com/LKHYYM and rumble.com/LKHYYM. Again, patreon.com/LKHYYM and patreon.com/LKHYYM. Other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing now. I hope you got something out of the information for today. Other than that, I love you. Appreciate love you. I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon, baby. Great, come down. Hopefully something to eat because I am hungry. And I'm hot, so I'm looking for some water when I come down as well. So I'll be downstairs in a few moments. Other than that, everybody on Zoom, appreciate, love you. See you soon, and always. Peace. On a full scale, or full, or say full version.
Recording.
Yes, there, and we're going. And also on YouTube, I'd like to thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate, love you. See you soon. Have a great day. Peace. All right. On Facebook,